Welcome back, Flaggers. I was on my way home from playing basketball with my army friends, and I realized I was booking in tomorrow, and I still hadn't made a vlog for field camp week. So this is Din Army Vlogs Part 5. I think I'm gonna try and cover everything, one take wonder about field camp in this one video, so I don't have to take another one. It might be a little lengthy, but that's okay. So basically, what is field camp? Field camp, we spent 5 days and 4 nights in the jungle, and we had most of our luxury stuff taken away, and we basically learned how to operate as a 3-man kind of unit in the jungle, moving about, covering stuff. So we learned things like fire movement to the front, to the rear, danger crossing, all these things, how to get from place to place, taking cover, all this jungle warfare kind of stuff. So for example, fire movement to the front is basically just, so you have your 3-man team, and it's basically just advancing from cover to cover until you take down the enemy at the end. But you make sure that your team of 3 advances together. So there's one IC. IC means in charge, and 2 other guys. So the IC will basically tell the other guys what to do. So how it works is you get contacted, you hit the ground, you prone, right? On the ground, on the muddy, disgusting floor. Then you always prone on the right side of the tree, just because the SAR-21 is a right-handed weapon. So we prone on the right side of the tree, and then the IC will give the fire FCO, fire command order. He'll say, group, watch your front, 100 meters, enemy behind tree. Then you'll see the type of fire, so usually it's regular, or sometimes it's burst. So regular and then fire, and then your team will fire, and then we shot blanks. Blanks were cool for 30 seconds, and then you realize it's not cool because nothing comes out. It just makes the sound and makes the gun dirty, and you have to clean it later, and it's annoying, but that's okay. So after he gives the FCO, then he says group advance, then he'll say cover me, then the IC moves forward. Then when he's in position on the next tree or whatever, he'll say 1 on. When he says 1 on, the second guy will say cover me, then he'll move, then he'll say 2 on, and the third guy, so on, will say 3 on. So you go until you take the enemy down. Then once you take the enemy down, right, the IC will say group. No, the IC will remove the weapon from the dead guy. Then they'll advance another, a little more, just to make sure it's clear. They'll say group, freeze. You watch, make sure nothing else moves. Group advance, so you go on again. Okay, group, freeze. Then you reoc. So basically, you tell the other 2 guys to go guard your 6 to 10 and your 2 to 6 respectively, and then say group ace, where you make sure that your ammo is okay, condition, and equipment is okay. And that's fire movement to the front. Fire movement to the rear is pretty much the same thing, just going backwards. And danger area, it's kind of boring because you're just crossing a road or something, but you got to make sure that you cover both sides. So it's nothing that special. So yeah, we did a bunch of that, a lot of it, because we had to go through a test, and yeah, basically do it a bunch of times. So that was the main thing. But moving on to it wasn't really hard. It was just tiring. Actually, it wasn't even really that tiring. I expected field camp to be more tiring than it was, so yeah, it was okay for me. It was just gross and disgusting because it rained every day and we're in the jungle. So it's all mud. There's no grass, it's dirt, wet dirt, so mud, obviously, every day. And you sit in mud, you lie in mud, you kneel in mud. You're basically best friends with mud after field camp. I can sleep in mud now. I guess that's a life skill right there, sleep in mud. So on the first day we slept on the ground because we hadn't dug our shell skirts yet. And then the first day was a light drizzle, so I basically just slept with one hand on my weapon, one hand holding the weapon, and then my other hand was like this, dabbing kind of, just to cover the rain from my face. And then like every few hours I'd wake up because my hand would be numb, and then I'd struggle to move it off, and then I'd switch arms. Yeah, so the first night was like that. The second night, okay, the second day we dug our shell scrapes, which is basically a hole in the ground, standard size. So at first I thought I'd get to dig a smaller hole because I'm shorter, but no, I gotta dig the same length hole as like the tallest guy. So that kind of sucked, but it's okay. I finished digging in an hour and a half. Most people took about 3 hours, but that doesn't mean I got to rest because I was platoon IC that day. So I ran around helping everyone, and it was just exhausting because there were stupid people asking for stupid things. Like, I totally understand if you need help digging, but there was this one guy who was like, "Can you pour water on my hands?" Like, okay, so in field camp, okay, water is a luxury. Okay, guys, water is a luxury. In field camp, we had to carry these jerry cans around everywhere if we wanted water. So it wasn't just easy access water. Everyone had to carry these, each section had to carry a jerry can, then you had to pour it into your own canteen. It'd run out really fast, then you'd have to wait until the next tonner would bring in more jerry cans, so it was just really annoying. So during shell scrape, I went to replace everyone's jerry can because I was platoon IC. Really tired to carry it a long way, and then this guy who's just too lazy to fill up his own canteen. I walk over because he says he needs help, and he asked me to pour water on his hands because his hands are dirty from the mud. It like blows my mind. There are people who need help digging, filling their sandbags and whatnot, and this guy wants me to pour water on his hands. Oh, people just, there's some people, man, I cannot even handle. Okay, so we dug our shell scrapes. It's like a rectangle in the ground. Gotta be somewhat, I can't really explain. Like, if this is a bench, it was like this deep, maybe a little deeper for the deepest part, I don't know. So yeah, we slept in there the rest of the nights, which is gross. You had a ground sheet, but it was still muddy and rainy. The second night, we slept around 9, and it downpoured, absolute downpour at 11 o'clock. So we all wake up. We didn't know what to do because the sergeants and commanders, they didn't brief us on what we were supposed to do if it was heavy rain. So we all like in the rain trying to pull on our rain jackets as fast as we could, and then we were like walking around not sure what to do, and it's dark and we can't use our torch lights because it's tactical. So we're all like walking around, tripping over each other and falling into other people's shell scrapes and stuff. But eventually we all like gathered up at the company gathering area, and then all the sergeants were there running around with their red lights, and we're like, "Follow me, we're going to the shelter." So we all went down to the shelter, right? That's where we slept. We all slept sitting down, cross-legged or whatever, because there was no space. You can't lie down and all that. So it's either you slept sitting or you didn't sleep and you just stood the whole time because your legs went numb. So we took count before we slept, but the commanders counted wrong. We were like 10 or 15 guys down, but they just brushed it off like, "Oh, it's dark, we miscounted." So in the morning we recounted, and there were 2 guys missing, both guys from my section. Okay, they were just not there. So the only logical place they could be was back at the shell scrapes, right? Which means they didn't come down with us. So we walked back to the shell scrapes, and we find them wandering around like lost, not knowing what was going on. And it turns out they slept in their shell scrapes through the downpour, which means like their shell scrapes collected water. So they're basically like sleeping in flooded shell scrape water the whole night. And it's just stupid, but like respect that you did it, but stupid at the same time that, you know, lucky you're alive and all that. That was kind of crazy. So yeah. Oh, food. Okay, you know what? Don't ever complain about food in life. Like, ever. Until you've had army combat rations, don't complain about food. So they come in this green packet, ready to eat. You just open it and eat. And some of it really, it's not like terrible. Like, it's edible, it's fine. But then some of it is like, you don't even know what you're eating. The description makes it sound good. Oh, pasta with this sauce and chicken, blah blah blah, and you're like, oh, okay, and then you eat it and you're like, blah, 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 and you're like, you don't want to eat it, but you have to eat it otherwise you starve, and you're not supposed to throw away food. So you just force yourself down, and it's the worst thing ever. So yeah, this book out, I have eaten a lot of food just because I miss food so much. Never thought I'd enjoy food this much until you eat Army combat rations. Like for breakfast, I ate a packet of like 4 biscuits every day. That's it, a packet of 4 biscuits. Because you keep your food in your ILBV vest in the back, and you can't reach the pouch on your own. You have to ask someone else to get it. So it just gets so annoying always asking other people to help you get your food that you just carry 1 pack of biscuits around to eat whenever for breakfast or whatever. So yeah, that was not fun. Definitely not fun. Yeah. So I didn't shower for 6 days. Yeah, about 6 days. At night, you get to change, and you get to use this thing called a soap sponge, but you don't get to like pour water on yourself. It's just, you put a little water from your canteen onto the sponge, and then you have someone scrub your back so you don't get like heat rash or whatever rash, and you stay kind of clean. Not clean at all, but clean enough that you don't go crazy. No, just kidding. We went crazy. It was disgusting. You go like this and your hair's not even clean. It's like dirt in your hair, but you can't do anything about it. And you smell bad. Like we all smelled like piss. Walking around smells like piss. Oh, speaking of piss. Okay, we had to dig the latrine. So like 5 holes in the ground in the middle of our company. So I didn't poop for 6 days either because it's just straight up disgusting. And then when we got back to Khoi Line after field camp, I pooped 4 times in one day. Yeah, but worth it. Yeah, so that's about it for field. Oh yeah, I mean, that's about it for field camp. We have to carry our rifles everywhere. That's the most annoying thing, I think, because you can't put it down. You have to carry it when you eat, when you walk, when you sleep. It's your wife. They call it your wife, but everyone wants to divorce the wife because it's like the most useless and annoying thing in the world. God. My wife doesn't even have a name. That's how little I care. So yeah. On the last day, it was the sit. Okay, so 5 days of field camp, and then you go to the sit test site, and it's like the best thing ever because you sleep on grass. So after 5 days of all you see is mud and trees, it was grass and an open field. And we cooked instant noodles. We dug a hole in the ground, lit the solid fuel, poured water into our mass tin, cooked instant noodles, and it was the best meal I've had ever. Even though it was just instant noodles, like, it felt like heaven. It felt like heaven. Yeah, the sit test is basically assessing your capability to be an officer. So it's like super important if you want to go to OCS, which I do. But I think I did pretty well. And it's super fun because it's all mission based. So like throughout BMT and throughout field camp, you don't really do any missions really, until the sit test, where you're given an objective, you have your group, you have a certain amount of equipment, you have to do it in a certain amount of time, accomplish the goals. So when I was IC, I had to rescue this, there was a crashed helicopter, and I had to rescue the injured pilot and shut down the comm signals and retrieve some documents from the helicopter. So it went really smooth. Like I did a really good job until the instructor was like, okay, now you have to explode the helicopter. So I was like, oh, okay, someone go plant explosives. We all got away from there. I was like, 3, 2, 1, blow. We're like, yay, we're done. And then the guy was like, oh, you failed. And we were like, what? And apparently we evacuated the pilot, but we put him next to the helicopter, right? And then I thought the pilot was on the stretcher, but no, it was one of our group guys on the stretcher because our instructor was like, okay, man down. So instead of the pilot being on the stretcher, our guy was on the stretcher. So we killed the pilot. So technically I failed, but hopefully I still get OCS because I think all my group members during the peer ranking ranked me pretty high. So yeah, I'm pretty alright with that. That was fun. So yeah, when we got back to Khoi Line. Okay, Khoi Line is like our army camp with our bunks and stuff. So usually we hate it, right? But after 5 days in the jungle, you're like, Khoi Line is heaven. And then where I am right now, booking out, is like double heaven. I don't know what's after heaven or on top of heaven or like whatever, but that's it. Right now, outside, whew, life is good. Life is good. So yeah, after field camp, everything is good. Appreciate everything, guys. That's what I learned from field camp, is that everything is a luxury. Water is a luxury. Taking a dump is a luxury. Eating food is a luxury. Sleeping on dry ground is a luxury. Yeah. So, life lesson, guys. Everything is a luxury. So don't take anything for granted. Or you can try sleeping in the jungle for 5 nights, 4 nights, or whatever. Don't say I didn't warn you. I'm warning you. It's not fun. It's kind of fun. Actually, it could have been harder. Okay, never mind. I'm done. This video is long enough. This is Din Army Vlog, part 5, coming to you from this random bench in this random place because I felt like it was a good day. It's a sunny day. Okay, enough from me. I'm done. Alright, Din Army Vlogs, part 5. Din is out of here. Peace.